Well, regulators are cracking down on the three major credit reporting companies in a number of areas that could help you. So what happens if you find an error in your credit report and try to fix it? Well, joining us today on Good Morning Connecticut, Howard Schwartz from the Better Business Bureau. Good morning, Howard. Thank you for being here this morning.
My pleasure.
So how common are credit errors? I mean, I think everyone tries to keep up with their credit score, but does it happen a lot?
Well, it's more the credit report than the credit score, and we can talk about the credit score in a moment, but it's a little bit too prevalent than it should be. According to the Federal Trade Commission, 1 out of 5 Americans has found some sort of error on one of their credit reports that affects their ability to get credit. Now, what we have to understand is these credits included credit information that was out of date, that was wrong, and in some cases, other people's credit reports were appearing in theirs.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, this is no small problem.
That's a little surprise, isn't it?
It's a terrible surprise. And the problem was, in some cases, people said they were able to get those problems fixed with quite a bit of persistence. Others said it was almost impossible to get them fixed, and some simply gave up, saying they weren't getting anywhere. But this is the important part. The folks who did succeed in getting this erroneous information removed from their credit reports said that their credit scores actually improved as a result.
Well, I would think so.
You would hope so.
How are they being regulated? How are they cracking down on these reporting companies?
Well, the reporting companies, first of all, we should identify them. They're Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. They did cooperate for this investigation, and there were 31 attorneys general who took part in this action.
Wow.
And what we found was in several ways, several important ways, this is about oversight, it's about best marketplace practice, which was not followed the whole time. Now, they also had to pay a $6 million fine, and according to the settlement that was put into place, they also have to change the way they do business. They have to respond if somebody has a problem with their credit report. They have to do so in a timely fashion. And they also are dealing, it's a very, very powerful troika of companies that are dealing with this, those three. So they have to make sure that information is correct, and I think that's hopefully what will come out of this settlement.
So what would you recommend to people who are just curious about their credit report if this is happening to them? I'm sure people aren't even aware, some aren't.
They're not, but let's go back to what a credit score is versus a credit report. Your credit report is information that's given to the credit reporting companies from various entities. Now that these companies are going to actually have to check the quality of that data that's given to them. Those reports are available for free. Our credit score is a numerical representation of how much of a risk we are to lenders. That should be a number somewhere between 300 and 850. The lower the number, the better. The higher the number, let me get that backwards straight. The lower number, the worse.
You want a high score.
That's correct. Yeah. You want a high score. And this will ultimately determine whether or not you'll be able to get things like a car loan, a student loan, a mortgage, and also how much you will pay for that credit. So these are really important things that are being put into place. As I said, also among them, making sure the data they receive is accurate. And they've also been told not to put on or not to penalize consumers for things like medical debt. Wait a little bit to see whether or not the consumer can resolve these kinds of problems before putting that kind of burden on their credit reports.
Well, that makes sense to me, that's for sure. One thing people can do right now to help their credit report or credit score, what would you say? I
would say the very first thing they should do is they should check their credit report at annualcreditreport.com. That's the one that's run by the government. But they should also create a complicated they should at least settle complicated disputes by creating an extensive process for doing so, and that involves things like identity theft, fraud, or cases in which those two people's identities have been confused. The reporting companies will have to launch investigations when consumers make mistakes.
And this is in light of the recent crackdown with the three companies.
That's correct. They have to crack down on peddling other services. They cannot try and sell paid services while they're trying to resolve your dispute. That makes sense. They have to make more information available. They have to provide the name of the original creditor when a debt collector seeks to collect an unpaid bill for a credit report. And annualcreditreport.com is the free service available through that website, and that will tell you what kind of situation the health of your credit report is in, because among other things, it can also determine whether or not you're going to get a job, because a good, clean credit history is sometimes relevant, and you might not get the job if you've got a spotty or incorrect credit report. And if you have a problem trying to fix these, contact Better Business Bureau.
There you go. And Better Business Bureau right here, Howard Schwartz. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie.
And if you want more information, you can always head to our website, WTNH.com, and just click on that On Air tab. Pull it down to the Good Morning Connecticut Weekend section.